Hey everyone, I'm Kim from The Guide to the Good, and we are so happy to be here today at the Quidi Vidi Plantation. It's a beautiful day and we're in a beautiful place, and we are with some beautiful and creative and innovative women who are artisans and practice their art here in this building. They're all going to introduce themselves, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions about how they do what they do, what their favorite things about doing it is, and how maybe the culture of this place is part of what they produce and what they make, what goes into it. But again, it's me, I'm Kim, this is Amanda, and behind the screen today is Perla, and usually we do a switch, but we're not going to do a switch because Perla's not feeling real well. But why don't we go around and start with Erin. Erin, why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
Hi, I'm Erin MacArthur, and me and my husband run a pottery company called Northeastern Folk Art. Most of the work we do is this kind of work. It's raku fired, which means we fire it outdoors and use a lot of copper in the glaze. And we also make porcelain work, which is stuff you can put in your kitchen and eat from. The main influences of what we do comes from life in Newfoundland and living by the ocean. Both of us grew up in the ocean, near the ocean, and you can see from our work we're heavily influenced by it.
Beauty. Thank you very much. And we also have Kathryn, and she is the Purple Raven, and she does some magnificent things. Tell us about you and what you do, Kathryn.
Hey, my name's Kathryn Walters. My business's name is the Purple Raven Boutique. We're based here on Quidi Vidi. My thing is wire knitting. I do two different styles of wire knitting. One style is called Viking wire knitting, and it has its roots in Norse culture. And having spent 5 years up near Louncey Meadows, that seemed like a pretty nice fit to me. Also, the whole business of knitting in Newfoundland has always been a staple. And the notion of knitting with wire, to me, was like the best of both worlds. So what you see here is an example of one of the wire techniques, and it's much like knitting in the round. So if you've ever knit tams or socks or those sorts of things, you've got a feel for the kind of work that I do.
Okay, excellent. It's beautiful, and I think that knitting with wire is wicked. It's like a melding of nets and a melding of history and a melding of culture. It's fantastic. We also have Clara from Clara Dawn Couture. Tell us about you and what you do.
That's me.
Yeah.
So my business focuses on, I guess, contemporary design and use of seal fur. And seal fur is something, and sealskin is something that's iconically Newfoundland, goes back through the ages, and something the Liviers did, something Aboriginal peoples did, something everybody in Newfoundland had a part in one point in time or another. I feel very connected to it. For me, it has an incredible versatility. It's fur, it has color, it's different types of leather, it has all kinds of applications with shoes and slippers and bracelets. I put it on sweaters, I put it on hair pieces, I put it on earrings, I put it on all kinds of things. I really like that I can explore with it, and I really like how I can talk to people all over the province, different industries, go into different communities, and people have a connection to it, and they tell me stories about how their grandparents used to do something called bark tanning, which is a completely natural process. They tell me stories about how, different members of their family went sealing, different ways to prepare it. I don't know, I just like that it's a really, for me, has a really strong connection to community and a really strong connection to craft. And those are things that I really value in my life and my experience here in Newfoundland.
Excellent. Thank you, Claire. And we have Anna, who has the Yellow Rose, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what she does and why she does it.
So I am Anna Murphy from Yellow Rose. I do all the design and making myself. I work primarily in natural dyes that come from insects, roots, plants, and wood. Some are local, and I harvest them myself, like goldenrod, maple, different types of lichens and mushrooms. And I also have access to exotic dyes from around the world, and I've sourced sustainable harvesting resources to help support small family farms and have ethical dyes in my work. And I work also mostly on cotton and silks. I have my product lines from accessories for women and men and home decor. So I think that natural dyes are a really beautiful thing to incorporate into your life, and I try to create things that allow you to infuse them into different sections of it.
Cool. We'll walk around when you guys have finished chatting, so people can see your workshop just as it is, and see some of the beautiful things that you make. And this place is truly beautiful. It's sunny today, and the ocean is there, but it's beautifully built and beautifully structured. And I think it's a really good place for emerging artists to come out. And there are also there's an artist in residence type mentor here as well, who is Erin. But maybe you guys can tell us a little bit about how this space has been helpful to you and how people can come here and do their shopping. Erin, do you want to start off with that?
Sure. My role here is the mentor, and it's a kind of informal role. I've been here since July of 2015, and it's gone by really quickly. One of the things I've discovered about being a senior artisan is not something new really. You learn stuff every day, and working with emerging artisans has been such a joy. We learn new things every week from one another, and also help guide them through some of the different things that you can run across when you're just starting out a business. We're here all year. We're busy working in our studios every month of the year, and January we kind of take a little bit of a break and tend to not be working quite as hard after Christmas. Christmas is a really busy time for all of us. And so studios are open 5 days a week until, I think, later when it gets warm. We won't know what the hours are in the summer, but right now we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 11 to 5. And we'd love to see anybody who wants to drop in and see what we're doing.
Excellent. Kathryn, what about you? How has the plantation been good for you?
Oh wow. Well, I started here last June actually. I'm late sort of coming into craft as a full-time pursuit. But this is a wonderful place to be. For starters, you're no longer working alone in your basement or in a shed out behind your house like I was. You're with a community of like-minded people, albeit their mediums might be different than yours, but there's a camaraderie here that I think is kind of unique, because so many of us toil away in relative solitude, you know?
Like a bunch of hermits.
Despite that, you put us in a building like this and it's amazing how much we can talk. But the other thing about a location and I guess a place like this, you already mentioned the beautiful setting. We're nestled down here in the heart of Quidi Vidi Village. Mallory Cottage is a stone's throw away. The Quidi Vidi Brewery is a stone's throw away. So for the investment of a few walking steps, you can do a lot of different things down here. And there's a cluster of 10 artisans in this place who all do different things. And so that makes this little, little slice of paradise a destination and an opportunity to come down, spend a few hours, and have a variety of experiences. It's also kind of cool here because people can see what we do. And I think that really adds to the experience for people who come here. Because so often, I know I'll speak for myself in my previous history, you buy things and you really don't know how they got there. Here it's completely different. You have an opportunity to watch people in the act of making, or talking to the people who are the makers here about how they do what they do. And I think that really adds to the experience for people.
Well, it helps the whole supply chain, help us understand the connections that we have with the things that we use. And perhaps, Anna, you'll tell us about yours. And I don't know, did you say that this is your work?
Yes, so this is a naturally dyed silk scarf, and as well as the pin. Something I've been getting into is doing layers of naturally dyed cottons and silks and machine embroidery to make kind of like a different fabric all together and use them for jewelry and things like that.
Cool.
So I've been here almost 2 years at the plantation. I'm actually just about to move out. So during my time here, one thing that I found really helpful is you have access to a lot of opportunities that you likely wouldn't have had if you were in another location. So we've had really amazing media opportunities, marketing opportunities to speak with wholesalers, and a different customer base that we certainly wouldn't have had if we were at a home studio or just doing markets and shows. So that's a really great advantage. And as someone who's just about to move out and open up my own store space.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you, in Bonta Vista this summer. And it's really great to have the other 9 artists here. To sometimes jumping out on your own is a really scary thing, even though we're all confident in our work and in our businesses. It's nice to have some people help you pick out some colors for your new logo and share a box of bags with you. So, you know, it's great to have that community around you to support you and kind of give you that extra confidence.
Great, thank you. And what about you, Claire, to clue us up, talking about how the plantation has been important to you, and how you are important to the plantation with regard to the social media and all that stuff. Tell us about the website.
I guess it's a matter of perspective on how I'm important to the plantation, but the plantation has been incredibly important to me. As Katherine said, it's a group of like-minded individuals who know their material or know their medium really, really well, but need a little bit of support with the business acumen that comes along with it, because I could probably knit Katherine just as well as she could knit me. But what do I know about marketing, for example? Not very much. What do I know about taxes, for example? Not very much. But thanks to this program, I'm learning about all of those things, and I'm also learning that I have a support network who, if I'm looking for an opinion, I make a series of boots, for example, and I bring them out and say, you know what, guys? What do you think of these particular designs? I know that I've got 9 other solid opinions who will give me really fantastic constructive criticism, who won't tear me apart, but will say, this is working, this is not working, maybe you might want to think about something else. It's an incredibly supportive network. So maybe building upon that particular theme, how am I important to the plantation, is that I'm also part of that network for someone else. And I take it really seriously. The location is wonderful, the building is beautiful. I mean, anybody who comes in here to walk around, they're captivated just by the beauty of the building itself. The location is gorgeous, and if you go for a little hike around, whether you go for lunch or whether you go have a beer or whether you go whatever in the immediate area, or you go for a hike and you look down over the vista, it's absolutely stunning. And I think all of those elements sort of work together really well here to make just this beautiful situation that we get to be a part of.
Cool, great. And I think to that point, Amanda hasn't been here before. Was this the
No,
first time
this
you were
is
here?
this is the first time I've actually been in here.
And you felt, well, I mean,
It's amazing, like the view, and I mean, especially with the sun shining today, the lighting is fantastic. Looking out over the water, I'm from Bonta Vista,
Yeah.
so the water has always been near and dear to me. Even when I left, I just couldn't imagine being away too long more. To be home next to the water is just amazing around. To walk around, I love looking in like the different artists' shops and seeing what they're doing. It's definitely somewhere I'm going to come back.
Cool. And anybody can come and shop.
Anybody can come and shop.
Check the website for the times to make sure. But there are so many beautiful things here to purchase, but to be inspired by and to appreciate the beauty of. So thank you very much, guys, for giving us your time and your expertise and sharing what you have with the world.
This was great. Yeah.
We'll sign off now officially, but we'll walk around and take your shoot your workshops and things like that. So thank you very much.
Come and visit us.
Bye. Excellent.